That's, well, here's the alternative. There's also a survey. Two pieces of paper. Yeah. Less, less than that, I think, but that's fine. So, okay, are we ready? We're live. Good morning and excuse me. Good morning and welcome to the forum at All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Spencer Graves. I'm a member of the forum committee for this church. Last October, I suggested that the forum invite someone to speak about the nonviolence of the First Intifada. They said I should not just get someone to address a Sunday morning forum, but to come here for a Saturday event as well as the Sunday morning presentation. From what I know, the world's leading expert on the nonviolence of the First Intifada is Dr. Mubarak Awad. He is Palestinian, born in Jerusalem in 1943, master's, PhD in the U.S. citizen, founded the Palestinian Center for the Study of Nonviolence in Jerusalem in 1983. He was evicted by Israel in 1988 for his role in inspiring the nonviolence of the First Intifada. People with power are terrified of nonviolence. That nonviolence did several things. First, it got more Palestinians doing things to express their concerns about their mistreatment because they could do so without the moral quandary and the personal risks involved in committing violence. Second, increasing numbers of Israeli military personnel went to prison rather than follow orders to kill or break the bones of nonviolent protesters. Third, it increased the number of Israelis who thought they could live in peace with Palestinians. Yitzhak Rabin was defense minister when the Intifada first began. If increasing numbers of soldiers were disobeying orders, what could the head of the military do? He ran for prime minister on a platform of negotiating with Palestinians. His victory in 1992 led to the Oslo Accords, which promised a two-state solution. However, both Rabin and Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat were threatened by the nonviolence. Arafat did not want to be replaced as the leader of the Palestinians. So Israel expelled 481 leaders of nonviolence, including Mubarak, and arrested tens of thousands of others. Finally, they got the Palestinian violence needed to justify the overwhelming counter-violence they used to reestablish their dominance in the occupied territories and to accelerate creation of more Israeli settlements. This program is being live streamed on YouTube. For folks on YouTube, watching on YouTube Live, if you log in, you can post questions in the chat, which will be asked to the speaker on your behalf, time permitting. Mubarak spoke here yesterday on ending the cycle of violence in Israel-Palestine. Today, he will describe for us 7 steps to ending that cycle of violence. Before I turn the microphone over to Mubarak, I'd like to ask you to take a moment during, you can make notes about questions you have because Mubarak is going to speak for about 30 minutes, and then we'll take a collection, and then there will be question and answer period. Okay. All right. So again, people in this room are asked to silence your cell phone. And so I think at this point, I should turn it over to Mubarak. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I hope some of you heard me yesterday. I try not to repeat myself, and I see some faces, and I am very happy to be here in Kansas, Missouri, or Missouri, Kansas, whatever it is. Uh, Also, today I am an Orthodox Christian. So, if you know what Orthodox Christian means, that today is our Easter. And I want to take you with me for a few minutes to Jerusalem to tell you how we as Christians celebrate Easter and those 2 weeks. So think of Jerusalem and a city surrounded by walls. And the first thing you will see when you are on the wall, looking at Mount of Olives. And here in 1 week, we have hundreds of people coming from Mount of Olives with branches of olive trees singing Hosanna in the highest. And Jesus, and then there will be a donkey between them to symbolize that when Christ came on the donkey from Mount of Olives. And then on Saturday, like yesterday, our highest priest in the Orthodox Church will go to the place where Christ was buried, and he will light a candle. And then there will be thousands of Christians outside of the Holy Sepulchre waiting for the light. And then he will give the light outside from the grave to one and then to others, and everybody will carry that light, the light of life. And then that light will go to Cyprus, will go to Greece, to all the Orthodox churches, and also go to Bethlehem, to every church in Palestine. And then you have to understand also what is today people doing in Palestine. Today is a celebration. We have ka'ik and ma'mul, two kind of sweets. One sweet symbolizes the sponge that they gave Jesus on the cross, and then the other one is round, symbolize the thorn crown on his head. And people will go and visit each other and then bring kaik and ma'mul, everything. Even we involve not only the Christian, but the Muslim also celebrate with us, which is very nice. And then you find the kids, they will have eggs, colored eggs, and they will go and hit the eggs to see who will get the other egg from each other. And it's the idea that, we have to crack the egg so that it's like cracking the stone from Christ moving in, so Christ will be out. Everything is symbolized there. We have symbols for everything. But also when we go and see each other, we say a few words to each other. Al-Masih Qam. Al-Masih Qam means Christ is risen. And then the other side, they will say, indeed he is risen. And I want to teach you those words. And I hope that you can repeat it. It's all right to destroy the Arabic language, but at least try it. Al-Masih means Jesus. قام. Say المسيح قام. And respond حقا قام. That's it. So then we go and eat, and everything is celebration, and thousands of Christians will be in the streets, and it's lovely. So that's what Easter is. Uh, this Easter it might be a little bit different because what happened in Gaza. As much as we like to celebrate, we have to think of what happened in Gaza. The spirituality of Islam is so important to understand what happened in Gaza for the people. We have over 35,000 people dead, mostly children and women. All the schools, all the hospitals, all businesses completely destroyed. And yet those people who are killed, they have faith in God. Majority of them Muslim, but they have faith in God and say this is the will of God. And so many times, sometimes like me, say, are you crazy? It's the will of the Israeli killing you, and you say it's the will of God. Yes, it's the will of God. They have faith. On top of the faith that they have, they feel strongly that the death of those children and women, men, old, young, everybody, they, they are martyrs. They go to heaven. So they will tell lady, the mother, why you cry? Your child is in heaven. It's so simple, so nice, so good, so religious. That becomes an important aspect. And you think that a lot of people might think, well, they should have revenge. What do you mean? They kill their mother, they kill their father, they took their land, they destroy everything they have. No, they are not going to revenge. It's a different, this concept of faith, it's important. Faith in a religion which is called Islam, and also a faith in a religion called Christianity. And I think if you look at Christianity, the thing you have to think of Gaza is the Sermon of the Mount. The Sermon of the Mount, it seems that Jesus are talking to the people in Gaza. Where are you when they are in prison? Where are you when they are hungry? Where are you when you are thirsty? Those are my children. And you have to, as a Christian, as people, as humans, to think, how could we help those people? Or they are not supposed to get help? How we accept as a human being 35,000 dead? Is Israel want to go to 50,000 to 100,000? When they are going to stop? And that becomes your thoughts. They are not evil. They are human beings. They are not evil people. They are not. And people always think, oh, they are Hamas. Everybody is Hamas there. Everybody want to get out of occupation. Everybody want to be free. So the whole idea of being free is that we have tried to push the other concept. We cannot tell them be free and not to give them any incentive of what is nonviolence and how could they resist through nonviolence means. I didn't stop of talking nonviolence or trying to have a center, and I did have a center to study of nonviolence, teaching the methods of nonviolence, going from one village to another, telling them about nonviolence. And a lot of people, when I will tell them that about Gandhi, so skinny, okay, not good looking fellow, but he believed in nonviolence. He was able to liberate India with his thoughts and studies and giving acts of nonviolence. And I will tell them about the march, the Salt March, what he did. I'll tell them how he was opposing and boycotting the clothes that comes from England, when even the British people in the factories, they agree with him and support him because they want freedom also for him. And then I will have a van and I put his picture, big, big, huge picture, and go to village and say, see that fellow? He's Gandhi. He liberate India and he's skinny. You are healthy. We could liberate India by the way he did it. And then I'll talk about nonviolence with them. And the other time I'll come, we'll have books for children even about Martin Luther King. See, this fellow, he's black, but he believed in nonviolence. And you know, in the United States, nobody liked blacks. The white people, they didn't like blacks. I told him I was in place in Tennessee in Lee College, and I saw the hatred of the whites to the blacks over there. But he believed that blacks can have their rights, their civil rights, the rights to be equal with the whites, the rights to grow without anger, without frustration, and to be free from slavery. And he did it. And now you go to any place in the United States, any city in the United States. I don't know if you have it here or not. Martin Luther King Street, Martin Luther King Highway, Martin Luther, everywhere. Poor fellow, he didn't hear that when he was alive, but after his death, he became very famous. It's like Jesus, you know, that he became famous after his death. So there is similarity with that. With Gandhi, the same. But this is what we have. If you have an artist or a musician, sometimes people wait for you to die to be famous. I don't know. I like to be famous when I am living to enjoy myself on that. So when I started the Palestinian Center for the Study of Nonviolence, it's an important thing to teach people nonviolence. And nonviolence is not only to have a sign and go and walk in the streets. We have more than 350 ways and methods of nonviolence. And we write books about it. We translate books both to Hebrew and to Arabic so people could see. Nonviolence, you could, when you are angry with someone you don't want to speak with, turn your back. This is nonviolence. Simple. Other nonviolence is when somebody shouts at you, you don't shout back, you stop talking, complete silence. Don't talk. Then after they shout, shout, you don't respond. They get tired of you. Nonviolence is that when you are in a movie or when you are in a church or when you are someplace and you find somebody want to interrupt everything, 5 or 6 or 7 people will come around that person. Just go around him. Don't do anything. Just don't let him. And this is a nonviolence way of controlling. You don't have to have a gun and shoot him. No. Nonviolence is a place where you don't have a gun and you have the power of nonviolence. It's bigger and better than the power of the gun. So with Palestinians who are young and who want to fight, and we train them to be a nonviolent person. We train them that planting a tree is a nonviolent. Not eating or drinking any food that made by the Israeli who are occupying us is nonviolent. Not paying taxes to the Israelis so that they buy bullets and guns to shoot us. That's nonviolence. And a lot of activities, not to go to court or go to court, fight everything that they have, fight the system. That's nonviolence. And we did that. And then suddenly the Israeli felt that that's too much for Israel. And the strategy of nonviolence that we ask the Palestinian, don't be afraid to have a flag, your Palestinian flag. You have to be proud Palestinian for the kids. But if you are caught with the flag, the Israeli will take you to jail. And they imprison you for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever they want. So the kids by themselves, women by themselves, everybody in the villages, they will take the Palestinian flag color. And we have 4 people. One will wear white, the other will wear red, and one will have black, and one is green, and they walk in the street. Automatically, they have the color of the flag marching. And the children, they do it, the women, they do it, so the Israelis, they don't know what to do. They couldn't know what to do. It's the color of the flags. And all the children there, if you give them all kind of colors, they use those 4 colors too. That's nonviolence. So when we are talking about nonviolence, it's important that you protest, but there is other things. And I'll tell you a few things that we are doing here in the United States and in Europe. And we have asked people to support us on that. That people who are activists, that we will take boats. And the boats, we call them flotillas, to go and and people will give us medicine, people will give us all kind of food, everything. We want to take them to Gaza. But the first thing that we want to do also is to break the siege from the Israeli to Gaza. And we have thousands of people sign up. In training them, the first thing we have to tell them, you came on your own. You pay hotel, you pay for tickets. We are going from Turkey, Istanbul. And the one thing we are asking you, are you sure you want to come on this boat? We have this boat before. The Israeli killed 12 people and tried to shoot us there. And they said, yes. We have people coming from 40 countries to be on the boat. The Israeli were a little bit outsmart us by coming and seeing what kind of flag we have. And they went to that country and probably push them hard or pay them a lot of money to take the flag out of the boat that we are going. So now we are trying to, it's delayed, but we will be having a different boat. Yet, however, Turkey said that you could fly our flag, but they gave us one condition. And the condition is they will have military people to protect us. They'll have guns to protect us. And we say, that cannot work. We are non-violent. We cannot accept your protection. We don't want even a soldier to come on the boat. We are all activists of nonviolence, believe in nonviolence. And we are willing to die for nonviolence. That's the strength of it. So we are still waiting and talking to other countries to give us the flag. And the boat is full. And then we have now more people coming, and we are going to get another boat. But it takes time. However, that's what we are doing. This we call nonviolence. Nonviolence is not for a weak person, it's for a strong person. Nonviolence is something that you have to believe in the power of that person, that he or she could do anything possible not to be angry when he or she is being attacked and want to revenge. No. Also, if you are a Christian, take a good example from the Bible. When somebody hit you on one cheek, what you have to do? Hit him back or turn the other cheek. This is nonviolence. Nonviolence need to be in the home. If your wife have a loud voice and you say, please be nonviolent to me, talk a little bit slowly and don't shout at me. And the same with the man and the woman. This is nonviolence. It starts at home. It starts in the community. It starts in school. And that would really make our life different. And as much as advertisement, carry gun, the gun protect you. And we say, don't carry gun, don't carry gun. The guns kill. And we are against killing. That's nonviolence. We have another program that we have, and we are doing it well also in Philadelphia. And we did it in a nonviolent way. How to get Jews, Christians, and Muslims together. And we find out in Philadelphia, they have more than 100 churches. And to go to every church. And we will tell the church, here we have a Jew, we have a Christian and a Muslim. We want you to pray for a child in Gaza. That's all. We don't need money. We don't need anything from you. Just pray to see if the God of the church you worship can hear us. And boy, we were welcomed in every church we go. And we say we could stand outside and we could give you a letter if you don't want to invite us to the church. They invite us and they came. The people in the synagogue came, their children and youth came with us, the people in the mosque came, and we have people who are Jews, they never have been in a church in their life. And people in the mosque, they have never been in a church, and here they come to the church, and the Muslim will be in a mosque. And we have a festival in the mosque, they cook for everybody, and we have a lot of people together. This is nonviolence. Don't think because you have a religion, you have more power than anybody else. Every religion is a good religion for that person. That's what he feel, what he believe. Accept that. Keep your religion for yourself. Don't kill someone else because of his religion. I am a Palestinian, and the Palestinians are killed every day because they are Palestinian. That's all. We are Palestinians. Nationality becomes something sad that we have to say we are better than other people. So, in doing that, I wrote and I want to discuss with you the 7 steps of nonviolence to end the cycle of violence in Israel Palestine. I wrote that and I sent it to a group of nonviolent people. They thanked me for it. Not only they thanked me and said that what you wrote is a good example for everybody to hear. And this is the first time I speak to audience like you to hear it. And it might affect you to be a nonviolent person, or it might say to heck with you. We have enough burden on our plate. But it doesn't matter to me. I still want you to hear it. I believe that the path for peace requires nonviolence. That's important. But to be a nonviolent person, you have to commit yourself to nonviolence. For the Palestinians, I'm saying to them, stop killing the Israelis. Stop killing the Israelis. Welcome Israelis as neighbors and recognize their humanity. They are doing a lot of bad things to you. They are destroying you. They are killing thousands and thousands, 35,000. You need your freedom. Continue your freedom, but do it in a non-violent way. You want them to end apartheid, but also tell them, do not depend on United States. You are taking too much money of tax people in the United States. Billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. All that weapons from United States. You have United States in your hand, and they are willing to give you money, but not to destroy other people. And that is sad part. You have to tell it first clearly that. If you don't, as a Palestinian, if you don't agree with an Israeli, talk to him. Tell him why you are killing me. Do you think you are better than me because you are a Jew? I don't think so. Do you think you are a chosen people? Well, God didn't tell me that He chose you. Maybe God tell me that I'm a chosen people too. We are all chosen. So don't play games of religion to make yourself more powerful on the other. If I'm a Hindu, if I'm a Buddhist, religion doesn't mean a thing that you have to occupy my country because of my religion, because I don't believe in your God. That's wrong. For the Israeli, loud and clear, stop the killing. God of the Bible, of the Old Testament, He gave you a commandment. You know what the commandment is? Thou shalt not kill. As a Jew, listen to the commandment of God. If you still believe in that God, and we tell them, you have to be a good Jew, not to kill. You'll be a bad Jew if you are killing. We have to tell them you cannot siege other people like Gaza. 19 years. You put the Gaza people, they cannot go to the sea. They cannot go to Jerusalem. They cannot go any place. What you are doing with that? And you think the people of Gaza, they have to be quiet all the time and accept you as people as occupying them. That's wrong. Well, they are doing it because one thing, it's the United States. Accept that too. You as people in the United States, you don't see how much your money is going to the Israeli and the thoughts of United States to the Israelis that it's all right. Don't kill them too much. Just kill them a little bit. That's funny. It's sad, but that's the way. United States believe that good two-state solution is the only way between the Palestinians and the Israelis. When the UN want to vote for a two-state solution to accept Palestinian as a state, guess who voted it? United States veto no. Then they kill. When you believe in two-state, you believe wondering for 10, 15 years, two-state, two-state. All Europeans, everybody think of two-state. When they want a state, you said no. So there is something wrong in the whole idea. You cannot tell Israel, go and kill, but don't kill too much. We give you weapons, which is illegal for you to go and kill others, but we let it slide. You have to, Israel have to stop the concept of apartheid. If you don't know it, that Jews have a drive in one street where no Palestinians are allowed to drive. You're not allowed. If you are caught you there, you will be arrested. What is that? Just because they are Palestinian, even they bought their car from Israel because they cannot buy cars anywhere else. You will be arrested if you drive on those streets. And the United States is quiet about it. All right? Everybody is quiet about it. And you say, but Palestinians deserve it. We deserve it. I have a problem one time, and the problem was with an Israeli. I was put several times in prison. I was tortured so many times. One time I went on a hunger strike, and there is a professor at the Hebrew University. His name is Eddie Kaufman. Very, very much of a Zionist. But I spoke at the university. He understands what I'm standing for. That fellow, when I was in prison, I went on a hunger strike. He came with a blanket outside the prison and he went on a hunger strike. A lot of Israelis, a lot of taxi drivers, they came and spit at him. Why you are doing that in behalf of a Palestinian? He have to bring his children who are in the Air Force to protect him from the Israeli to then attacking him. Then my attorney came and he told me that there's a fellow who's an Israeli. He's on a hunger strike. He's skinny. He's not like you, fat. So we have to end the hunger strike for him. I was upset. Why an Israeli, a Zionist, a professor at the Hebrew University will go on hunger strike for a Palestinian? And he said, because you believe in nonviolence, and I start believing in nonviolence like you, and this is the only thing I could do for you. We became friends nearly around 30 years now. I go to his house, he comes to my house. Sometimes he comes, we have to go in house in a different circumstances. My wife, Nancy, she was a director of a school in Ramallah. It's called French School. One day it was attacked by the Israeli soldiers. And that night we have an invitation to go to his house. To make a decision is a tough one. But we went to the house. We talked to his kids there, the Israeli soldiers, and we ate with them. As tough as it was something that we thought it's right to do it, even as the most difficult time in our life to do it. We did it. It was tough. Israel have to do tough things too. Israel have to get out of drinking milk from your breasts. You, it's not baby. Israel is more than 75 years old. You have to take your breast out of her mouth. Don't give her all the money that it wants. Let it stand on its feet. It will act better in the Middle East. Thank you. We don't see Israelis as our enemies. We see their action of the Israelis. Terrible. We are dividing ourselves, seeing their action is terrible. Because not all Israelis are like that, not all Jews like that. And we have to understand that. We have to understand people. And that makes us very vulnerable. But it's all right. During the creation of the State of Israel in 48, we have thousands and thousands of people have to leave their homes, to leave their land, to leave everything they have, to get out of those homes that they build or their grandparents build or they have it in all their lives, to place Jews who are coming from America, from England, from Europe as new Jews to the state, what they call it Israel. And they promise, Zionism promise Jews around the world, we will give you land, we'll give you a house. By the way, the house will be furnished. We will send you to a place, and we are always very sure there's no people there for people like you to go over there. And that was disaster for a lot of Jews. They accept that lie, and when they came, they find, hey, it's a surprise. And the surprise is that there are people there, there are Palestinians there. We have shops, we have cars, we have everything. We have a nation there. Yet they cannot go back. And that's in 1948 became the problems. We have to find a place for them. We have to kick all those Arabs. We have to kick all those Palestinians. So we have refugees and refugee camps in Syria, in Lebanon, in Jordan, and also in the West Bank, waiting to resolve that Palestinian-Israeli problem so they go back to their homes. And Israel say, no, no, we cannot let them back. The UN, a lot of countries, they say, you have to, but Israel would say no. And they say no because of the support of the United States. And the government of the United States is not pushing Israel to do the right thing. And that's very difficult. For the international media, the international media have been all the time supporter of Israel. All the time. Why? Because the United States support Israel. And whatever Israel say, the media will put it there. Wrong, right, lies, no lies, or anything else. They put it there. And we as Palestinians, who are the victims, became the terrorists. They call us terrorists. Why? Because our color of skin different, not white. Because our religion is different. We are a lot of Muslims. So they are doing that again and again. From New York Times to the Washington Post to the Philadelphia Inquirer to LA Times, everywhere. One Israeli will die. Everybody get upset and they write how terrible are the Palestinians. Hundreds of Palestinians die, don't mention it. 35,000 Palestinians are dead as today. And some of the newspaper, they don't mention it. They don't put the pictures of the dead Palestinians. And then you say, what kind of media I read? You read what the media you have in your town, in your place, but you don't check the media, is that right or wrong? And that becomes your responsibility. Have you ever looked and say, let me read or see something which is an Arab media? Maybe they are right or wrong, but there is Al Jazeera. Look one time on it and check it and see what the pictures they have. That's why we have so many students are in the streets, in the university. They are saying we have enough of that media. We can, on the phone, we could talk to the people in Gaza. They are sending us picture. On the internet, we see everything. We know more than New York Times or the Washington Post. We know because we have people talking to us from there what happened. They better informed. That's why they say, hey, we want to support the Palestinian. And that becomes a very change in the American society. 10:15. When you want me to stop?
As soon as possible because we're supposed to end at 10:30, and if possible, we'd like to have some time for questions.
Okay, I'll go fast then.
Please.
All right. You don't like me to talk about the media.
I like it.
Okay. All right.
The clock is ticking, and they're gonna turn off the feed at 10:30.
Okay. And my message also to the Americans, please understand, for Americans, there is no military solution in the Middle East. Yeah. If you want to supply weapons, supply something else over there. Supply doctors, supplies, engineers, supply things to build, not to kill. And if you are an American, don't support the Palestinian. Support the Israelis as well as Palestinians equally, so they have a positive example by improving our treatment to everything that we do. If you support Israel alone, you have billions of Arab and Muslim say, what kind of America is this? You became the ugly person representing in the world. You don't need that. You don't need that. Americans are good-hearted people. They support, they do a lot of things. But if you go outside the country, you're an American. Say, we can't work with you. Let's work with the Chinese. Let's work with the Russian. Let's work with someone else. We don't want your business. We don't want anything to do with America. And that is sad. And they are doing that because of Israel. So how to work it with the situation with Israel is important for America. For the international community, we have to thank South Africa that they were able to come and take the case of the Palestinian to the International Court of Justice. After that, 50 other countries are doing that and telling the International Court they are doing wrong and this is genocide what they are doing in Gaza. Yet America say we don't accept the International Court. Well, when you started the International Court, you started the UN, you started all humanity things around the world. Suddenly, you don't accept the International Court. What's wrong? Humanitarian organization, hundreds and hundreds of them. And we beg everybody, if you are in an organization like that, don't listen to the Israeli what they say. Go yourself. Go to Israel. Go to the Palestine. Meet Palestinians. Talk to them. Meet people from Gaza are Palestinian. Hamas people are Palestinian. You know, we never say that the Israeli Knesset and the Israeli parliament and the Israeli things that they are doing, what they are telling their soldiers to do. We don't call them terrorists. Yet somebody was born today. He happened to be a Palestinian. He's a terrorist. That's have to be changed. And you have to say, hey, that child is not a terrorist. You have to fight for that child. And I'm talking to the Israelis as an Israeli soldier. Don't go and fight something you don't believe in. Don't go and fight killing people. That is going to destroy your life. And look at the United States. They've fought in Vietnam till now. A lot of soldiers, American soldiers, are sick and they have bad dreams and they kill themselves and they destroy everything. And that's going to happen to you as Israeli soldiers. It's going to cost you billions and billions of dollars to get back to be a human being. You have to hit your wife. You have to kill your children. You have to commit suicide. What's wrong with you? Can't you see what happened when you are a soldier killing or so many people? That's wrong. Don't go, don't join the army. And that's what we tell them. But also, we have to say that Palestinians and Israel can solve the problem, and we don't need any help from the international community. Just leave us alone to do it. We can do it. Thank you all.
Okay, first, couple of things. We need to take a collection to cover the cost of this for the church, and George will be passing the basket. And there are Renee will be putting a couple of URLs in the chat for the people who are listening on YouTube Live. One is for collections, donations to the church, and the other one is for a survey that I put together that people should have in this room. Most people, and if you don't have it, I've got extra ones that are printed a little bit. My extra paper copies are printed a little bit different because they were uh, for yesterday, and so Mubarak mentioned several things. I'm asking, the survey is, what else would you like to do to help end the cycle of violence in the Middle East? And Mubarak mentioned several things that are not on my list. So I'm hoping that Mubarak will give me that list and I can publish it on peaceworkskc.org. Um, and what else? Okay, so we have time for uh, we have just a very few minutes for questions. Basically, 5 minutes for questions. Um, Carolyn, would you, if you got a question, everybody who has questions, please line up by this microphone over here. Okay, and after the end, we're still going to go to the library. After 10:30, we will go to the library, and we'll have an extended discussion down there. The library is just down the hall. And Craig LeBeau is here with a question, I'll bet. Please.
Hey, good morning. My question is, you were talking about, uh, okay, you were talking about before, like the past 19 years, how they've been strangling off basically the access to water and all of that stuff. My question is, how can they open that up and allow them to go to Jerusalem and get to the water, etc., if you have extremists going into Israel with things like car bombs and other things that were quite common a couple decades ago, where they were blowing up tourist buses and stuff. So how can Israel open that up without some kind of protection from that extremism?
Okay, that's right. But not all people have that. Israel created a concept of fear of Palestinian. They are afraid of me because I'm nonviolent. They are afraid of me. They put me in prison, in jail, because I'm nonviolent. I never carry a gun in my life. My mother told me, when they kill my father, one thing I'll ask you, don't kill any person. Don't carry a gun. And they put me in jail. They torture me, and I am nonviolent. There are good and bad, but they are good and bad in Palestine. They are good and bad here, everywhere. Don't take the picture that all the people are willing to want to go and kill Israelis. Maybe one, two, maybe 10. And that's why Israeli, they have to have an army. They have to have people will catch them before they do that. And if they don't do that, they are not doing their job. And look up the other way. Look at the West Bank. There's no Hamas. They are killing, burning the cars of Palestinians in villages everywhere. Why? Just because they are Palestinians. And the army and the soldiers and the police, they don't stop them. And when a Palestinian call the police to come and help them, the police will come and stand with the settlers to continue the killing. We have too much hatred. But don't take one word against the other. Try to say, okay, we have here people who want to kill us, and we have other people who are willing to talk to us. Yeah. Don't take the 1% or 5%. If you take 5 or 10%, there's 90% they are still want to have peace. Please. Thank you.
I can appreciate the direction of nonviolent actions and what you're talking about. However, I'm concerned about leaders that have the idea that the meek shall inherit the consequences of their being meek, like Netanyahu and others. There, I don't see a great opportunity for changing their opinion on that. Would you address that?
I think in a democratic country, the people, the Israelis themselves, and I don't know if you could see it on TV here, they are against Netanyahu. They want him out. They don't want him to continue the killing. However, he started maneuvering himself, saying that we have to finish, we have to kill all Hamas. Hamas is an idea. It's an ideology. Okay? You cannot kill an ideology. You cannot kill, like if you want to kill Christians, all Christians, but Christianity is still the same, or Judaism the same. He is like a trouble of Trump here. He is, if he stop the war, he will go to jail. And he is in his interest continue the war over there and killing of the people of Gaza. Even he have surrounding him in his cabinet people more to his right. They want all the Palestinians to be killed, all the Palestinians to be destroyed. And nobody could stop him. Nobody could stop him except the Israelis people. And I hope that they'll wake up and they start feeling that it's enough. It's enough.
So yeah, we got 1 minute left. So I think I better.
Any more question? Hey, I talk a lot.
I think we're going to go to the library for more questions here, and I have to give the final. I get the last word since I'm the moderator. Okay, so so um so just a reminder: each week's program is broadcasted on KKFI roughly a week and a half later. This presentation will likely air a week from this coming Tuesday, which will be May 14 at 7 to 8 p.m. on 90.1 FM, KKFI, Kansas City Community Radio. And it is available any place in the world with an adequate internet connection via kkfi.org. Click listen, or if at some time after that, you can get this at that kkfi.org, then click News and Public Affairs, then All Souls Forum. Alternatively, if you go to allsoulskc.org and you go to the second YouTube channel, which is labeled Forum, shortly after this broadcast, after the end of this program, you should be able to get a video available there. Next week, Stephanie Godfroy. Hey, I hope I pronounced that name adequately. Kansas City, Missouri local group leader for Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America, will talk to us about demanding gun sense in America. Okay, and I think our time has expired, and we need to once again thank our speaker and move for those who are interested in further discussion, going to the library. That's right. Forgive me. And services in at 10:45 in the Bragg Auditorium. Thank you, George. So we need to clean this place out immediately. Thank you. Ooh, great. No, this can just go to the wall. Someone else will come and get Jesus.